Just a quick heads up for everyone, because of the new policies implemented on YouTube, I will now have to add this at the very beginning of my videos. I have nothing against the platform, it's just, I'm really talking about a show that is only for mature audiences. I hope that you'll understand why I had to make these videos and why I had to re-upload them, but I hope you enjoyed the discussions again. Hey there everyone, and welcome to the Season 4 vlogs of Ray Donovan. And I'm actually kind of excited for this one because there's so much that went down for this season, and or at least for this season premiere in particular, and especially at the end of the season, there's so much that's going on, especially for what's going to happen in the next episode, and then the episodes that's going to happen afterwards. So I'm excited to see what will happen in the next episode of one of my favorite Showtime originals, Ray Donovan. Now, some of you may be thinking, how would I be able to do this episode? I mean, it'd be pretty hard to try to do something similar to my My Little Pony Friendship is Magic vlog, such as the common stuff I do over here on my main channel. Well, this time around, I'm actually going to be doing this. This time I decided to do a method I thought I'd never do before in my entire life. Something I thought I'd retire from high school. And that is, I took some notes. So, I am going to... So throughout the episode, I wrote down from memory what I saw from the episode. And what I thought, what moments stuck out to me, what moments, intrigued me the most. And what I really thought were the most fascinating moments there are. Now, I'm not sure if I have the policy of if this is going to be spoiler-free or not, or something like that, and you're gonna have to get used to this angle, folks. I mean, it's the only way I can actually sit down and, watch the TV here, despite the fact that I could actually just sit in my chair here and, watch the episodes that way. So, let's get started with Season 4, Episode 1. And with that in mind, Season 4, Episode 1, it is called Girl with Guitar. And there's a reason it's called that, because you'll find out in a moment. So yeah, the episode's called Girl with Guitar. And in the episode, it follows suit like a week after Ray has recovered from his near-death experience, and after he suffered from, well, I would say either a week or somewhat a year after Ray suffered some injuries to his stomach, bladder, whatever it could be shot from the last season, and after doing something that a Donovan would never do. Which brings me up to Donovan rule number 1, Donovans never trust the priests. Which, in this case, when Ray goes to his own boxing gym, he tells the story of what happened at his recovery process and what happened after everything went down in the last season. So, during that, he actually got to hang around with somebody new. He hanged around with this really cool but very troubling dude called Hector. I can't remember the last name, so I'm just going to call him Hector. And he seems like a very nice guy, and he actually took care of Ray throughout most of the time that he wasn't able to move around or whatever. And throughout most of the stuff he's been dreaming about, he starts to see, like, visions of him being at the vet or whatever, getting the bullets pulled out of him, or, like, to seeing his past self with another priest, again, rule number one of being a Donovan, as he sees in that image of Abs and Bridget as they literally jump to their deaths. Which haunts Ray as he wakes up right next to one of the season 3 cliches, and probably the one that just about every Donovan fan was just going on about, which is the family dog, or should I say, yeah, it's the family dog, which I think never really appeared in this season lately, or at the house yet, and his name is the Donald dog. Not Donald dog, but Donald dog. Like, cut the Vin out of Donovan and add dog to it. That's literally the whole name of the dog that the fans gave him. And while all that happening, and after, like, Ray tells him the whole story, tells, like, the whole boxing, tells his whole, like, family about his recovery, the FBI wants info on Mick's whereabouts. However, as we saw in the last season, Ray took Mickey over to Nevada, as Mick is living the high life there, as he's given an anonymous name known as Chip, which I seriously can't take that name really seriously. Mick Chip I feel like I'm gonna combine those names into something completely and utterly dangerous. But of course, while all that's happening, Abs, as I found out in the very beginning, Abs is being scanned for something like breast cancer or something? Like, it's some sort of, like she gets put into, like, what looks like an MRI machine, as the scanner is scanning her boobs for some sort of something. And as in my notes, it could possibly be breast cancer, as I was figuring out. And of course, as we found out in the last season, but while I'm trying to figure out that theory, Bridge, as we found out, is still alive. She hasn't ran away from LA or anything, so that's a good thing. And of course, Ray's at peace with the fact that Bridge is still alive, and actually asks Bridget to, take her over to the home for dinner. Which thankfully she does. Well, she accepts as she goes off to make off for her own money or whatever, to do whatever she wants, not that she's completely out of the house or whatever. And as I found out, and this is actually true, Bridget does have breast cancer, but she doesn't want to tell Ray about it. Much like the same way, or something like that, that Ray doesn't tell the whole family about the stuff that goes down and around about what Ray does in his whole time that he's out and about in LA, or wherever he is in California. Of course, Terry tries to go on a mission because of his church experience, but unfortunately, just about everywhere they reject his appeal. They reject his claim to wanting to go on a mission, which really upsets Terry, because the last season we had Operation Terry Break, which, if you take a look really deeply into my Twitter feed in the last season of Ray Donovan, there's this whole situation where Terry actually had, like, some sort of trouble, and Ray had to break him out, which is a situation I called Operation Terry Break. So Ray But then later on, Ray again goes to an art museum and meets a high-class art enthusiast, but then hires him for a task. While they take a look at a little piece. Now that the title I mentioned earlier, the title, Girl with Guitar, that's the reason that episode is called that. Is because not only does it reference that little art piece, but it also references maybe Bridget. It references the fact that she is a girl. Actually, more or less, I would consider her a woman. But either way, she is a girl with a guitar. Which is the reason I get a lot of the episodes' titles. Or the clever titling. Anywho, Mick winds up stealing some parts for some reason from a guy's car, getting a guy drunk at his bar while under the name Chip. But unfortunately, the boss of the casino that he works at, while under the name, gets fired from his job for the fact that for a suspicion of trying to steal the name, but also to the fact that he's using a name that's been dead for like half a century. I mean, quite honestly, the FBI's been getting pretty smart with their identities. As Mick returns home to his roommate as he gives him some advice, but also give him some almost Indian-like hallucinogen to almost get him high. Which may play some role of some kind later on. We then see Ray looking into the art dealer situation as Hector's having some issues going on. Yeah, Hector's having some issues, especially with the fact that he's obviously carrying a gun and has a police officer tied up in his hotel room with a hooker that actually left him. With that in mind, Ray obviously excuses Hector for the night as he obviously grabs some boozes. Or, not boozes, booze. Is there a plural for booze? I don't know. As Ray tries to be the pacifist of both him and the cop, but as time goes on, they both drink some scotch and whatever. The funny thing about that little tidbit is the cop goes like, I don't drink. And then the next thing you know, Ray this goes like, I don't. But if you stayed for long enough, or at least seen all the episodes, I mean, I've watched the show since 2014 or whatever, and the funny thing is just, he lies to the fact about Ray drinking. Because, if I recall, the last I saw Ray drinking, and quote me on this if I'm wrong, is the last I saw Ray drinking was Season 2, Episode 7, Walk This Way, where Ray's is constantly drinking during Connor's birthday. And this is just when he's trying to keep his cool, when Mickey's trying to obviously piss him off, but also when, some sort of crazy go-down situations going on with Terry wanting to move to Scotland. A lot of these episodes I really need to rewatch again. Anyway, Mick winds up obviously hallucinating a little girl in Nevada as it leads him back to the casino that he was banned from. That leads him back to the singer, as he wants to pull off yet another heist that he used to do back then. As, of course, he goes and runs, as he tells the singer about his plan to obviously break out the $40 million bucks? Was it the $40 million? Correct me if I'm wrong, post-production. Thank you. As the guys obviously return to try to obviously, I don't know, beat the crap out of him for obviously returning back to the casino while he's hallucinating on some Indian stuff, as Mick obviously makes a run for it. Well, Mick makes a run for the casino. That's when the police catch up to him, but unfortunately Mick falls flat on his face, knocked out, but we don't see what happens from there. Ray hires the drunk officer as Ray Donovan crashes the police officer's car into a wall in LA, and staging some sort of police crash, because that's what Ray does. He stages stuff. Well, actually, that's sort of what Mickey does. But still, he stages the crash, tells him what to do, and he just leaves him there. As, by good timing, Ray leaves the stage as the cops come in. Now, he returns home for a family dinner to find the painting there. And the funny thing is that everyone's just appreciating the fact that he bought that painting, despite the fact that he didn't actually buy it at all. But I think that the painter actually brought it over, and just the family didn't know about it, and Ray, I think, didn't actually know about it either. But he's happy that the family got the painting that he brought over. And, to add another thing, that painting is worth millions upon thousands of dollars. So, the family is bloomin' rich. Now, as the night goes on and they eat dinner and they settle in for the night, it's obviously to the fact that Abs and Ray never let on their day. And, of course, Abs, I just call her Abs, Abs wants to hear from Ray that everything's going to be alright, and that nothing bad will ever happen to the whole family. But you know that truth ain't gonna last long. And so, you may be wondering, what happened after Mick fell down flat on his face after being hallucinated? Well, that's when Mick, I think, either returns to LA or gets sent to a Nevada hospital, and the FBI agent winds up recovering, and the FBI agent winds up getting excited, and winds up obviously, and she winds up wanting to do something bad to him for all the shit that Ray or Mick put her up through. And that's the end of the episode. It just ends there. So, for this one, I obviously would say that this is a good start for the first season. A lot of tension, a lot of suspension. It kept me guessing a lot of the way on what was going to happen throughout the rest of the episode. And throughout it, I mean, through all seriousness, this whole, season, I'm real excited to see what will happen throughout the whole Season 4 of Ray Donovan. and see what would happen with him and the priest, with Ray and the priest, and just about everyone else. So, with that in mind, I'm looking forward to see what would happen next, what lies in store for just about everyone, and with that in mind, I really hope to look forward to seeing you guys for next week's episode of Ray Donovan, and if you're looking forward to seeing a lot of this, or if you just don't want to hear me ramble on about the rest of the episode, then I highly recommend you either get the Showtime subscription for your provider, or you can either get it through, or if you're one of those cord cutters, get it through the PlayStation 4 through PS View, or whatever the cloud-based DVR service is, or you can get it through a streaming service, because I heard that Showtime is available on Hulu, plus it's available on mobile tablet devices without the need of a network without the need of a TV provider. So, if you want to see Ray Donovan and where his insane, crazy antics go from there, I'm not trying to pass this off as a comedy, it's a real serious drama here, then I highly recommend Ray Donovan. It's a really fantastic series. It's something you could get into if you're just really bored of Dexter. And plus, it's the second competitor behind Starz and HBO. So, that's a plus. But in all seriousness, there's not a lot of movies here on Showtime. I only subscribe just because there's like billions in Ray Donovan. So, that's that. Anywho, hope you enjoyed the Ray Donovan vlog. See you guys in next week's video, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.